Most part, I would favor J Team just a little bit more because they have a little bit more range in their composition and they have the reset potential. So it only takes one kill for this composition to just erupt like a volcano. So this is definitely a very explosive composition, but at the same time, you do like the dive with the combination of Vex and Tryndamere, and anytime you have a Tryndamere in the game, that is going to be a big focal point, especially when on the other side we have a Jax being that answer.
Yeah, I love this. The ban away from the Gragas that's been like a neutralizing pick, and Driver just says, no. I want to take the Jax, and now a level 1's coming in. But J-Team there waiting in the wings as Kino goes for it. Big fear off on the Vex that might actually peel things back, and my goodness, the aggro is already there. Driver, he's about to be first blooded as Leon flashes forward, gets the damage, and Beyond Gaming open up with a volley.
Oh, J-Team. They fell in the trap CFO fell for, and that's taking a level 1 fight against Beyond Gaming. So,
Yep.
time to find out what Beyond can do with this lead. Again, we've been very, very critical about their shot calling, but what they're really good at is pushing their individual advantages. And that's what's going to happen here because Husha, now he's going to be a little bit further ahead when it comes to EXP goes. Liang has a 1 kill advantage. That means he has Longsword and Doran Shield. This is such a massive lead in that top lane in particular. So time to find out if Husha can shut down this jungle matchup because that game against CFO, Husha just completely destroyed Gemini, and Gemini was not able to do a single thing to get his team back into the game on that Lee Sin.
And Kongye is a much more feast and famine player, and not to mention, he's also playing a champion that's going to be reliant on getting some of those kills. So this could be a little bit tough here for J-Team, as we already are seeing the Tryndamere bullying strat come out. Level advantage for Liang here as he'll try to freeze out a little bit of the wave. Kongye going to have his work cut out for him. Another thing I want to point out, too, is the last time J-Team faced off against a Vex, it was Pretender of Frank Esports, who honestly almost put the game on his back. I think Frank almost kind of got robbed at the end of that game back in day 1 of this week, and it was very, very close. So we'll see if Uniboy has learned anything from that particular matchup.
Husha should know what's going on here. Yep, he's just going to go ahead, try and steal some of this away.
Bit of a chicken fight here, but that is going to be a lot of damage. Husha does smite for the HP, and Minji even gets into the mix and tosses out a Mistral Bolt. A couple of love taps there, but you can see the continued pressure that Husha is exerting on his opposite number, as well as getting the mid lanes involved.
Yeah, for BYG, it should just be all about trying to neutralize Kongya, just make things as annoying as possible for him. You might not be able to slow him down completely because he is on the Viego, but the longer the more effort you can shove into slowing down Kongre, I think you're going to be well rewarded because he has been sort of the main engage on this team. Falls in very similar to the issues that we saw with CFO, where Gemini being put in a main engage role has been sort of struggling because he wants to be more of a carry threat, and that goes the same way for Kongre.
Yeah, I think Kongye, you know, we've seen him in the past, like especially more recent past, as like this kind of big carry or nothing. Hong Kong attitude was really built like that last summer, but Kongye's also done a bit more of the utilitarian role in the prior past. This time around, he wants to be in a carry position. He can get a lot of that done. Minji, nice trading out there onto Uniboy, does find a little extra damage and really playing well around the fear. Now Kino on a long roam here. Driver has no flash, could be in trouble. If Leong is able to bait this out, I think Driver sniffs something. He does see the Nautilus coming through. Kino lands the hook, but there is going to be a leap strike to end the play.
Right, but now the wave is shoving in towards Liang, so he has complete lane dominance in that regard. And Minji, he will spot out Kongre, of course. But the big thing here is when you compare these solo lanes already, they're starting to, or just all these lanes in general, they are accumulating some leads, right? In that top lane, it's a very domineering lead for Liang. In this mid lane, Minji's already starting to come out ahead. Of course, he kind of needs to at the same time because he is running the Ignite on this Vex, so all about that kill pressure. So he needs to be able to get these sizable leads and also be able to transition them into the first couple of team fights. Whereas for Uniboy, he's running that teleport. He's a couple CS behind, but it's about playing a little bit more of the slow game and being able to then play a little bit more macro later on.
Yeah, you can really see the difference in focus here. Very individualistic on the Beyond Gaming side, playing to their strengths a little bit here, with no teleports on this team versus the 2 of J-Team. Top lane gets a little bit of a reprieve here for Driver, but Liang's coming right back, and wouldn't be surprised to see the all-in play. Hongye is coming up top side here. Husha not too far behind, but he's still going on a jungle clear. They haven't really been able to keep him down after that level 1, and in fact, Hongye has just been so quick on his pathing and on his farm game, he's actually picked up a level advantage over Husha.
And, I mean, for the side of Beyond Gaming, okay, nice little trade. But besides that one big explosive game coming in against... I think we're going to set up for a dive. Okay,
yeah, it looks like
we
you
were
go ahead.
going to set up for a dive, but it didn't happen. But besides that explosive game against CFO, they really struggled to hard accelerate a game. Even against DCG, it was kind of just held neutral until that one big explosive fight. So J-Team are going to be given that leeway to go ahead, farm up, get to some of these breakpoints, allow them to start playing the game. And it really just comes down to that first team fight. If the side of Beyond Gaming want to flip at a certain area, you can for sure guarantee that they will trigger that fight.
Yeah, that's for sure. Definitely a little bit of fighting spirit coming out here on the J-Team side. The Driver actually been forcing Liang away from a couple of these minions. Nicely done to try and cut down on that CS lead. Elsewhere on the map, it kind of starts to even out a little bit. You see Uniboy has been able to match at least for a little bit up to the likes of Minji. Now level 6 is starting to get hit across the board. In fact, it was Husha that actually got it before Hongye, as I think he was getting involved in the lane a little bit more here. So, been a little quiet, as you mentioned. You know, this is something that J-Team should be pretty happy with. Beyond want to try and make these plays. They have the summoners and the champions to really try and get some of these solo kills or small skirmishes. But speaking of skirmishes, once Hongye hits 6, I kind of expect him to make a trip somewhere. There he is.
Yep. He will be a level 6 now, and I mean, given the nature of both of these teams, it'll be a rather late dragon take, as it is already 8 minutes. I think the tension will or should come towards this top lane because this freeze has gone on for a very, very long time. It's been slow pushing forever. Liang's just constantly been accumulating advantages here in the CS department, and it's just really a large gap that's starting to emerge here.
Driver looked like he was in a bit of trouble for a second. Liang was able to cut him off, and that doesn't even stop the Herald take, but it is traded down bottom side as Hongye is on this mountain, but it's not the fastest take right now. There may be an option to react. I don't think they see this happening, and should know it, but it's going to be a little hard to react. They also got Uniboy coming in here. This is pretty well protected, so there is a trade of objectives.
Yeah, and I think BYG are very comfortable with accepting that trade because now they're able to throw even more gold into this Tryndamere, who is just monstrously ahead at this point.
Okay, Charm lands onto the Vex. In goes Hongye with the flash and the Heartbreaker. What a beautiful combo.
And as always, when we look at J-Team, it's all about that two-man combination, Uniboy and Hongye. This time, it rings true once more as they manage to, they get themselves on the board. It, could have been first blood, but that level 1 happened. So,
yeah, the almost first blood, not quite. That Driver taking it even a level down onto Liang, not too bad, but he's getting frozen away from some of these minions. Liang wants to get the kill back solo, and he will claim it.
Do that.
Yeah, it's Tryndamere. Sorry, Jax. He has a real weapon,
but the
unfortunately.
rocket.
Oh, gosh, from downtown. If this connects.
Sweetie.
Nope. Leong stayed a little longer on the tower. I don't think he would have been taken out, actually, but that did go all the way across the map. One day.
Yep.
One day we'll get the cross-map Jinx rocket kill.
And now this is an incredibly dire situation, Pyra, because it's a 20 CS disadvantage. And you're down 2 kills. So this is already like a 1,000 gold disadvantage up top lane, I would guess, given the numbers. So it's not fun, is what we're gonna put.
Driver wanted to have a fun game of League of Legends, but unfortunately, Leong's got a hand on the wheel, I think. So going to be pushed in here a little bit, and of course, Leong playing pretty aggressive Tryndamere, of course, aggressive summoners as well with the Ghost Flash, able to just get that solo dive. And I mean, the saving grace is Jax is going to be able to do something down the line, but oh, look at that burst coming out of Uniboy. I think we've answered the question, can he play Ahri? The answer is yes.
Yeah, looking pretty good so far. And it looks like he's going into that utility build that we have been seeing. It is, of course, the Lucidity boots into the Everfrost, and I'm guessing that they're looking for some sort of flash charm play. Both mid-jungle know what's up.
They have to. Okay, the charm doesn't land. However, Orb of Deception does a serious amount of damage, and they dodge the Shadow Surge. So now Husha kind of doesn't have anything he can do at all. Meanwhile, down bot, things stabilize as well. Kino hitting him with the thumbs up Teemo.
And now Husha, I think, is going to look to force the dive. So Driver just has to back away, or he is once, I would guess,
wait a minute,
going to die. But Uniboy is here.
Uniboy and Kongye throws down the arrow path right now, and Leong is going to walk away. Husha's got to find a place to crush this eye. He's kind of running out of time.
He is definitely running out of time. I think he's just going to sprint mid and hope that he just gets solo gold for himself at this point. Throwing it at top lane isn't going to do too much, but...
Meanwhile, though... Oh, Dredgeline intercepted by Enzo. That is massive right now. Completely denies the kill. Well worth the summoner as Enzo saves the life of Lil V. Ooh, getting spicy down in the bottom lane. Husha still hasn't popped this thing. They're playing around the mid lane.
We're killing him. Guys, we're doing it.
They have to go now.
Let's go.
Okay, here comes Kongye. Husha, Minji.
Everyone knows what's coming.
Rift Herald pop, Driver backs off. Teleport coming up. This is going to be a 3v3. They're just going to let Shelly go for the charge here. And wait, can they actually pop it before it goes? No. Full charge goes through the smite a little bit. Not enough damage there. Man, beyond. Really hard forcing up top.
Oh, I enjoyed that play. Just from
all that
an
build
entertainment standpoint, you know? I know, you know, we all know. Everyone in the game knows. Everyone at home knows. We're going top lane just to throw this Rift Herald down. And there's nothing you can do to stop it.
Use it or lose it, right? I mean, they got the plate charge off, I guess, but yeah, they really want to just give Driver a hard time. It did get split among
3 people, which I think is, you know, suboptimal in that situation. It does help Minji a little bit, given the fact that he has been put a little bit behind, but you would much rather get as much gold onto the Tryndamere as you can. And, you know, Leong's still going to be fine, but that could have potentially just been a game over play if they were able to break that first tower, get all of those plates onto the Tryndamere, and also get that kill onto Driver.
Yeah, J-Team have been able to track what Beyond want to do really well this game, actually. Very impressive map awareness and just some critical ward placements, I think. Right now, they're a little bit in the dark, and that's just because there's a lot of good positioning, a lot of good timing, a lot of good counter wards coming out of Beyond here as the Dragon gets started. J-Team, remember, did get the first, the Mountain Drake, but J-Team are in a position to try and collapse on this. 4 members strong. Hex Flash coming in from Kino, just uses it to try and cover any potential engage. Smite goes down, and J-Team are just watching this, but Minji gets nailed by the charm as Uniboy has looked so good on this, but they can't get the deletion even with Lil V's Super Mega Death Rocket. They will, however.
Okay,
look for Kino. All right, he's out.
Very good buffer on the Nautilus hook. I mean, both of these supports have actually performed very, very well so far in this game. Uniboy has looked very good on this Ari pick, showing that he can play other champions, which is a great look for J Team, but Kino takes a big chunk of damage in that instance. And
oh, Wako though!
Wako!
He steps up into the belly of
Not good
Enzo,
enough.
and now it buys enough time for Kongye to wipe. Man, Wako just absolutely no fear. This is the man stepping into Doggo's shoes, and I think it's well worn.
Oh man, really trying to take matters into his own hands in that moment. Unfortunately, unable to fully cash in onto the kill, but
That's why Tom Kench is picked, though, right?
yeah, it does do a very good job of at least threatening that Jinx pick. And now Minji
Speaking of threatening,
could be threatened himself, as we
Minji
still
has
have the
been
flash and
targeted
ult on Uniboy.
okay, wave cleared. Really, really good use of that ability to try and stop the push before it happens. Husha, of course, meanwhile, gets to solo out Herald. Might be it for round 2 here. Wako actually sitting in the mid lane. So be careful. Uniboy always threatening with those charms. This looked really good. Orb of Deception isn't going to catch anybody here. And with Kino and Minji both in the mid lane at the moment, this is going to just be a quick push up. Lilvi should be able to finish off tower in bot. But of course, Beyond had already gotten first brick up top.
Yeah, it's going to be Jinx going and securing this bottom tower at the same time as Tryndamere getting further and further ahead. He takes away the Raptors as well. Like, this entire top half of the map is Liang. Kongre, that's not his jungler anymore. It's Liang's jungler. He's not even the jungler in his.
Okay, it's a lot of damage. The charm does land onto the Vex. No, excuse me, onto the Tryndamere. That's not who you want. Shelly should be able to finish off the tower. No, it stays, but just barely. Leon gets tagged a little bit. Kongye going forward. They do have a nice CC chain, but they can't get the execution. We've seen so many times J-Team has nearly found the kills. Can't quite do it. This should at least be tower and mid.
Liang's still
but
flanking.
Wako, Kino,
Still
Minji still hanging around. Liang's around the side. That's the hook, the engage. Do they have the damage? Kino is going to go down to Lil V, but meanwhile in the back line, they all go in here. Husha just doesn't have the damage, and even though he was sustaining through the Crescent Guard, J-Team just clean up as a triple kill comes in. Leon tries to equalize, but he will not find it. J-Team clean house.
It's a quadra kill for Driver. He gets put down throughout the entirety of that lane phase, but give him one fight. He goes from 0-0 to 4-2-0. He is blazing now. So he is off to the races. Wow.
Let's see this again. Like this is a great flank. Husha looks to set things up. The engage comes in. They just don't have any health bars though. Wolfie just blows up the Nautilus. And then Driver, Counter-Strike, everybody's dead. Leon can't quite get the kills he needs. And then, obviously, runs out of Undying Rage. And, oh my goodness. Even Uniboy couldn't believe it. Just hits him with the surprise Timachu.
I mean, the big thing was Kongre getting those resets, right? He turns into Kino, he gets that Nautilus, and the Nautilus hook was massive onto Wako right after. That secures the kill onto the Aphelios, and that's really the only threat left on the team besides, of course, that Tryndamere in the backline. But you just pick him up at the very end because you know eventually that ultimate has to run out.
Oh yeah, J-Team finding strengths right now as they open up a decent lead in the gold game. Oh, there could be another collapse here. Kongye around the side. Dodge the rocket. Dodge the zap, I should say, but they just get them all locked up. However, Kongye's down already. Trade for Kino, looking for more. Here comes Driver, and a team fighting Jax is looking crazy right now. Husha in the backline, gonna get melted. Leon will be undying, but Wako is not. Leon trying to get something here. Counter-Strike through, and they get it again. A triple kill on top of it. The Jax is running wild.
Man! Holy moly, this Jax pick is running over the game. Holy, because even at the end when it looked like maybe the Tryndamere gets to cash in on a massive gold bounty, he's unable to do so. As we're into this replay, Driver immediately comes in with the teleport. This is the difference, of course, with the Jax over the Tryndamere is that, well, he has teleport, so Liang has to be the one that makes his way down to the fight with his own 2 legs, and Driver just has more impact in that fight. That counter-strike at the very end also denies Liang from being able to cash in on a massive gold bounty. And while Liang himself is having a really nice game, unfortunately BYG themselves, they're stuck in this situation where they don't have teleports to play the map, and so they're stuck in a bit of an ARAM situation, because if they don't force 4 or 5 man mid, then they just get split pushed to death.
Yeah, I'm honestly, Nicer, I'm honestly a little confused. I always thought, going back years, Jax is not the greatest team fighter. Driver is making him look like an incredible team fighting champion for some of these ARAM fights. And Liang, I mean, he might be blazing it down the lane, but he's just not doing as much.
Yeah. And, I mean, at this point, for Beyond Gaming, you just have to play 4-1. That's just the game plan. That has to be the game plan. You're hoping Liang is able to farm up just a little bit more once he gets that quick blades. That might be enough for him to just possibly pop off onto Driver. And if he's able to win 1v1, that can break the game open. That's all it takes for Tryndamere to all of a sudden be able to shatter 2 towers, threaten that in-hit tower. Things can go south very quickly if you have Tryndamere.
Still can be a very close game for sure, right? I think another thing that's kind of been quietly stacking up has been Lilvy's gold as well, because he was kind of held at bay for a little while, but he did get a double kill in that previous fight when they cleaned up. So on top of the Kraken Slayer, he does have another item buy here, and it's kind of a half item over the likes of the Aphelios. So Wako kind of in an unfamiliar position, being set a little further behind, and also has to deal with that added range of the rapid fire cannon.
Yeah. I mean, we saw why Wako took the Aphelios, right? Because he nearly gets that 1v1 kill. But once more, we end up in a situation where you're playing Aphelios into a composition that just has a lot more kite ability, a lot more dive capability, but also a lot more range than you. So not only can they get onto you more easily, but they also outrange you. So that's just, again, a repeated issue with a lot of Aphelios picks. When it gets to past 20 minutes, you're stuck in these situations that you don't have those 2 or 3 kills from lane phase to then just walk at them and one-shot a lot of these targets.
Absolutely. J-Team in control right now, in the driver's seat. With Driver on this Jax has become just such a beastly presence. It's going to be hard for Liang to even straight up get that 1v1. He does have the quick blades, so there's the opportunity there. But of course, teleport available. It's a tense situation for Beyond to try and get back into this one. Wako does manage to tag Kongye, but will they be able to take the fight with 4 here? Big Charmin Rudin, my goodness. Husha gets utterly deleted. They did not even need to have Driver TP in here, as he just sticks around on the bottom side. J-Team looking for their perfect 3-0 week here with a win.
Yeah, this is looking pretty dire for the side of BYG, because now J-Team, they can threaten the Baron, and the big thing about this Baron threat, I mean, like, they're clearly just going to try and take it, and they should be able to secure it here. But even if it was a situation where they're trying to commit to a Baron dance, again, BYG, they don't have teleports. They can't just like, all right, we'll threaten bot lane, and then when they start the Baron, we'll teleport over and stop the Baron. No, you can't do that because you don't have that teleport summon.
Yeah, they do have Hex Gates they can travel with, but not quite as long distance. And BYG are just, they're gonna need to find some picks here, and it looks like they're trying to set up the Leon Aquino.
This is desperate times now.
Calling for desperate measures.
Grand Prix setting gives away the game.
Unfortunate. There is going to be a Hextech Dragon spawning in a little bit here, but a little bit of time on the game clock, so Beyond just going to be sitting around in River if they wanted it. And this is a big old Baron push.
They just need to sprint mid because BYG have to answer that Baron push and just concede this Dragon, or You try for dragon. Okay, J Team.
Okay, it's a bait.
Just go mid.
But Leon got sniffed out.
You can just end the game. Hello?
This is a bit of a fight brewing right now. A bit of a strange one. Minji sitting around the side. Leon sitting around the side.
Minji,
Dragon control seated over.
You could get
This
a big
ult. Got to
ult.
be big right now. Husha already taken down to half health. Kino opens up hostilities here. Look at Wako right now, dishing as much of the damage as he can. On the Moonlight, Vigil does find something, but they have a follow-up damage. Driver on the counter-strike, dishes it all out. Uniboy staying alive as Kongye opens up by taking down Kino. Big shutdown for Minji, but will it be enough? It's just Driver. That's all they could do, and Leon, oh, he's going to dash away from the charm, but he is going to be a dead man. Uniboy hunting him down. This has got to be it. Just a dodge, but I don't think it's going to count for much.
Okay.
Let's take the game. Okay, Uniboy wants the kills.
I mean, at this point, I don't know if they can end the game. I mean, they do have Jinx and they have Diego, so they're going to be able to break inhib, and it looks like they're going to settle for just one inhib.
Okay.
Okay.
Indecision coming out of J Team there.
I've been greatly disappointed. Honestly, they didn't even need to force that dragon. They could have just sprinted mid, taken an inhib, forced BYG. If they wanted to take dragon themselves, they could have threatened double Nexus towers in that instance. But they take a bit more of a safe route in this case. Yes, they end up winning, and it's a nice fight, but for the side of BYG, you did cash in onto a big bounty of Driver, so...
Yeah, Minji got that gold too. That's pretty massive, but like, look at how much they had to do just to kill him. And obviously, at this point, the rest of J-Team are able to do so much, and oof, the Vex nowhere to go. Just YOLOs into the team, and goodbye Minji, but he does collect at least, does a lot of damage in that fight. But this is still pretty desperate, as you said, Nightstar. 27 minutes on the game clock, a 10,000 gold advantage, not to mention Soul Point here, as the Baron has expired. This is going to be hard. You're also staring down a 5-1 Jinx right now, plus Driver.
Yeah, even if you are able to get onto the Jinx, you have to deal with that Jax.
Okay, Shadow Surge. They have a lot of damage on Enzo. Is that who they need, though? It's one so far, and Leon wasn't even in the fight. Okay.
Yep. Oh,
going in for round two.
Low.
Yeah, Lil V can't really get involved in this one. They might yet save their tower. Got to dodge that charm. Careful, here comes Driver.
Here.
No more minions. Oh, what a tense moment. Got to go back to clear out the supers in mid. And they've stopped the push for now, but Beyond Gaming have a long way to go to climb back into this.
So here's where Beyond Gaming's summoner selection does reward them, because now they have a bunch of combat summoners and they're stuck in their base. There's no need to use teleport. They don't have a chance to use teleport. Now this is the
galaxy
perfect
brain
opportunity as we get to see the highlight, of course, both top laners doing 0 damage. Yep, that's the most important stat here. But yeah, now you've got just a bunch of combat summoners and you're stuck in a position where you just have to win fights. And so at the very least, their choices will assist them in that regard. But for J-Team, they're still in complete control. And now that GA is completed on Lil V, this is a very, very safe Jinx. And even Uniboy is very close to a death cap, so plenty of damage coming through. The reason why you also see Lucidity boots and still a death cap onto Ahri is because she does do true damage, so she doesn't necessarily need that magic pen.
Right. Of course, for Kongye as well, he's gone a little bit more tanky towards this Viego after he picks up some of the initial damage items in the Divine Sunder. Randuin's coming through here. J-Team looking to push, going for the 4-1 play, but critically, they've been repelled before. No Baron just yet, 30 seconds. That has to be the next objective. I don't know if Beyond can fight this. It's going to be hard for them to leave their base, especially with the threat of a backdoor Jax looming.
Yeah, they should just be stuck in their base waiting, and J-Team should be able to then secure a fairly easy Baron at the very least, and I don't even know if BYG want to contest this dragon. It's going to be Dragon Soul, so it's certainly a big point of contention. But it feels like you might just get stretched on the map if you walk to try and contest.
Yeah. Ooh, Leong's going to try for a 1v1. Actually, Hush is here as well. Look at the level difference between the jungler and the rest of the teams. Oh, Driver already almost takes him down to 0 right now. You're investing so much as the Baron starts. If they can tag team, this Minji does come in. Counter-Strike, they will be able to pop his GA, and the Rocket is going to delete some health. Driver, if he even gets one back, this has got to be worth it right now. Shutdown gold on the Aphelios, but it's traded for the Baron. They've got to go back to the base.
I mean, it goes as well as it possibly could for the side of Beyond Gaming. If you look at the end result, they don't lose anyone and they kill Driver. So Driver doesn't get a Baron buff, and you know you weren't going to be able to contest most likely both of these objectives anyways. So it's just, hey, we removed the side lane threat, so at the very least we don't have to play 1-4 or get stretched across our base. Now,
that's true.
I mean, we're just back to the original plan. We fight in our base. Hopefully, we win one fight, but it's probably going to take 2 or 3 big team fights in our own base to actually slowly edge this one out.
They're going to try for a catch, actually. Look at this Death Rush of Brewing. Kongye immediately sniffs that. And that was a bit of a forward position there on the back timers. BYG able to at least get some of their own jungle back for themselves. Kongye has backup now, though. This could be dangerous. It is a 4v5 for J-Team, but with the teleport from Driver, those odds can get even pretty quickly.
Flash.
And they go for it right now. Huge damage to start things off. They take down Uniboy as the teleport is going to come through. Enzo should fall as well. Do they have enough to be able to delete Lil V? No, he's flashed over to the red pit right now. Driver on the front.
Full
Everybody
HP.
else still up here. Rocket's going to miss. Kino gets
That's
taken
game.
down. They do lose. Husha. Now it's a 3v3. Lil V, though, staying safe. Wait. Feared, but he stays alive. And Kongye intercepts the shot from Wako. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, that was so close. I mean, Lil V still has the GA available, but they would have been able to turn that fight because then they could finish the remaining target and then wait for Lil V to respawn and just kill him right afterwards. But Enzo plays this fight as well as he can because he's able to devour the Jinx, keeps the Jinx alive for that much longer, and it's really all about Lil V and Driver. Like, no one cares about the Tahm Kench as long as he devours the Jinx. Job done. But Lil V almost makes this fight dicey. Wako almost going down. If he goes down, that would have been game. If Lil V goes down, BYG all of a sudden are given a lifeline to maybe snowball and wipe the rest of the fight. But as it stands, it becomes just both teams walking away from that fight. Now, with Baron buff starting to tick down, not a whole lot remaining on it, we'll see what J-Team can do.
Should be able to crack this tower with relative ease. Kino has to be careful. He's eating a lot of rockets. Already down below half health. Needs to make a beeline to the fountain. That should be inhib here. I think they might have to seed 2 of them. J-Team aren't really showing an opportunity for a counter engage, so they will clean this up. No Baron anymore. Beyond Gaming, they need to try and get in gear to defend as J-Team rotate up topside.
Try and get some minions over there. Of course,
Okay,
this
Kongye.
is without the Baron buff, so it can be cleared out by Minji. So
Young
it's
almost
gonna
got
be
tagged on the
difficult.
charm. God, J-Team, just so much damage thrown out here. Another wave of minions comes crashing into the tower. This is where Mega Bank Beyond Gaming make the stand as Uniboy goes in. That's going to be Kino on the counter engage. And they will be able to take down Kongye, but do they have enough? Driver chasing the backline. He pops Wako's GA here. They need to get on top of the Jax before he can delete the AD carry. The fear comes through. Wako's down, though. Lil V is still up. It is a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Beyond Gaming, but they've lost 2 inhibitors, Nightstar.
Oh, that fight.
I know.
Absolutely should never have happened, but it did. J-Team tried to go for the end, essentially. They flash forward, try and hit the charm. Yeah,
Flash the charm.
I mean, he flashes for the charm. The issue is they're split across the wall because of the fact that there's still that inhib tower. So they're split up as J team, and beyond, I mean, you really only need to focus on one target at a time because of that.
Yeah. I think the big thing there is Driver getting in, Wako getting to delete him, because that would have maybe changed a lot had he not been able to secure the kill. Obviously, GA popped. I think he might have... He did have a GA, I think. Just sold it after the fact. And, yeah, I mean, Wako basically just can't die, or these fights are going to go very, very poorly. And you got to be careful of how deep you dive, leaving your AD carry alone up against the Jax, who basically has just kind of become like almost like a weird budget assassin in the backline.
Yeah, he's kind of playing that way because, I mean, for the side of Beyond Gaming, this is a 4-man dive comp, right? You're essentially just leaving your Aphelios to his own devices. So that's why a Driver's been able to get access onto the Aphelios pretty readily. But now, BYG leaving their base. This is the first time they've left.
Enzo, yeah, the Jax isn't actually joining. Teleport coming through. Kino taking a little bit of damage on the outer of this one, and he will fall to Driver, but do they have enough damage to follow through? Leon
finish on movie!
Pusha going to be already down here. The fear comes out, but Driver has already done what he needed to. They couldn't quite find anybody, but Enzo, Minji going into stasis. That has got to be game over right now as they clean up, even with the double kill from Wako. It's the ace, it's the base, it's GG for J-Team.
This was always going to be an uphill battle for the side of BYG, given the situation, given the map state, but the one time they finally leave the base, that's when J-Team are able to collapse and finish